Good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to be here with Eveready's event. Myself, architect Iftikhar. I practice lighting design as my practice, and I have been practicing in India for the last 10 years. So I do lighting, smart home controls as a consultancy. So that's my scope. That's what I do.
Hi, I'm Ekta Agarwal from Poet Designs. We've been into this architecture and interior design from last 20 years and been into residential, commercial, anything you talk about, and we do everything. Hi. Hi, this is Malar from Architecture WIP, based out of Chennai. So we are mostly into high-end luxury commercial art, when it comes to execution. So we also have our own, factory, so we do everything in-house. So it's all under one control space. Yeah.
Hi, this is Amit Pandey. I am National Sales Head for Eveready, and I am there in lighting since last 20 odd years. So there is a logo behind me which says lighting. Hi, I'm Raghuvid, along with Shania, my partner who's here. We run a practice called Studio Context here in Chennai. We're about 11 years old and primarily focus on residential design.
Yeah, hi, this is Bharat here. My firm was in Chennai and I've been practicing for the last 13 years. We're into architecture and interior design. I mostly get into design for hospitality segment where I do a lot of high-end resorts and hotels. And we do high-end houses interior works also.
Hi, I'm Karan from A1 Design Studio. I've had only about 3 to 4 years of experience. Not from Chennai, moved to Chennai a couple of years ago. Our projects mostly are experiential homes, so that would be the second or third homes, as well as Airbnbs, and we are also moving into products and different sort of tableware. So that's something that we do.
So today's topic is more about, I would say, what I do is personally about lighting. So a question to generally, the topic would be is, what is the future that holds for smart and interactive lighting in this projects that you guys are doing? And I would likely to ask a question, maybe start from you, and I'll start with a question like, how has the integrations of smart lighting and other home automation systems have been into your projects? Okay, maybe I can even ask this question to a few more of you, because most of you do residentials, so others can also add it up to this point.
Yeah, so initially when we first started pitching the idea of automation to clients, everyone was like, no, we don't really want to go ahead with this because it's going to be terrible to manage this. But over the last maybe year, people have changed. They're like, okay, let's start going with this. I feel that because the systems have become super easy to manage and the mesh network as well as the interface has become super easy. Yeah, a lot more companies that are creating products have all started integrating with each other. So we don't have to buy individually. A client does not have to buy, say, 10 things to operate just about one thing. So in that way, we have seen a good change in terms of home automation and also the variety of what is happening. So the basic would start off with, say, curtain lighting and basic access lighting, but now you can get also decorative lighting, mood lighting, and all of those things has evolved over the last couple of years, at least in the way we see it.
That's great. I mean, but honestly, the terms that you used are very much for this generations of mesh networks and things, which we find it very difficult to sell it in the concept of home automation and smart systems. But it's quite nice. I think that's a way that it's kind of evolving, that we see it, because we do almost every second project that we do, whether it is commercial, hospitality. We've been doing smart lighting, and we've been doing lighting control systems into every other project that we do. But yeah, certainly I do see that's kind of picking up quite a bit into the projects. And just to add up to that, since a couple of years has been in industries comparatively, how do you see that as also getting integrated into hospitality, for that matter, in terms of smart lighting specific to controls?
As I work with India's on a couple of projects for hospitality segments, where the main point of the client is first is on the energy efficiency with the rising rates, increase in the power and the load on the environmental which we have. every client and every brand, if you see, to name any top brands, be it Marriott or the Radisson or any brand, they all are into eco-friendly and they want to go with sustainability. So it's going to be the future where they want to control how the lighting can be controlled, how the air condition can be controlled. So as far as I know, lighting is a major, I would say, major chunk of the power consumption compared to other equipments in the hospitality segment. Because the light fixtures have to be on throughout the day, and it has to interact with how the user has to use it. If you're in a hotel, there are many areas. There are different zones. Be it a bedroom, it is the end user, the guest decides what he has to use. Be it the banquet hall, it has to be off and on, and it depends, because it depends on the what activity is going on. If it's a conference, if it is a banquet, if it is a presentation or something. So that you cannot be dependent on getting on and switching on the light. So automation plays a very important role when it comes to banquet halls. And secondly, you go to these public spaces, be it the restaurant or the bar area, the light plays a real impact, has a real good impact on the ambience also, and on the theme of the restaurant also. So for instance, you can set moods on how the light has to be throughout the day. It can be warmer in the mornings or cooler in the morning, depending on the places it is. And for bar, it is completely different, where the lighting plays a different effect on how the ambience is also. So for hospitality, I think lighting automation with smart lighting is very important. It is going to be the future, because it is going to be like the first checklist for every brand going forward with the amount of information which is passing on now. So every brand should make it a priority to emphasize that automation is being part of even a small boutique hotel or a small chain of hotels, because it really has a good impact on the savings for the customer. So yes, there is initial investment cost, but then on a long run, it has a huge impact on savings also. So this is for the interior. When it comes to outdoor, for resorts, large-scale resorts, properties, the motion sensor lights plays an important effect, and automation really plays important when it's an outdoor lighting, because it switches on at whatever time you say it, and then it switches off. And with now, you can change the color, you can change the density or the intensity of the light, and now you can control whether you want a blue light or you don't want a black blue light or blue light. So these are the few things which will help even the plants. When the plants are lit in the night, the warmer lights tend to kill them also. So nowadays, the outdoor lights play important role in the landscape portion of it. So in and all, for hospitality, I would say smart lighting is must, and it's a compulsory which has to be put for everything. So this is what I have experienced, and I wish, and I encourage, and I educate my clients that we should go with automation when it comes to
That's right. I mean, to be very honest about the project that we worked, it was I always look at hospitality into multiple spaces under one roof, right? I mean, you have banquet, you have restrooms, and everything has got different occasions of play that's going on, and especially with the lighting can be one tool which can actually have a whole depiction of, the day to evening. For example, if you go into an all-day dining, the morning sequence is very different from the afternoon to a lunch to a dinner. And the interplay of light is very much, if you can shift the whole lighting in the night for it to be dimmed in a certain way, I think the whole ambience changes completely. Be it in the banquet, for example, right now there's a lot of presentations, and there is launches, there is weddings, and every occasion has got their own requirement for lighting levels, and there's a party that's going on. So certainly, yes, in hospitality, I personally think it's the way forward. And I think with the current technology that's been happening in terms of wireless systems coming into the play, and a lot of mesh networks, as he was mentioning about, is very much an active into the hospital. I think it's quite about embracing. And now the way forward is also to see lights are coming with the built-in control systems are coming up as well. So that is making it more easier and simplified, I would say. So yeah, I go with your point as well. And Baru, for you, question is, I've been working on some projects as well on this. How do you think in terms of smart lighting can enhance the security and safety in terms of the residential or in any of your projects that you do? How important is lighting in terms of safety and security with the smart lighting being in place?
I thought you'd ask me more about some experiential quality, but
I know it's also part of the experience, right? Because securities are also something that somebody can feel safer about the space. So I think it's about how you make it.
Absolutely, and I think that's why he said when why you can have lights turn on and turn off depending on the time of the day, and you don't have to personally, and especially if it's a large residence, you have lighting all around, and then typically we give an ambient lighting, we give some accent lightings, and then you have occasional lighting and all of those. But then typically at 10 o'clock in the night you want a certain set of lights to come on and then everything else to go off. So that can be controlled without anybody having to really go and turn on a switch. But apart from that, there's an intruder or anything like that, you can always have a few more lights come on. So that's on a very basic level. I think that the motion sensors at least will help from intruder point of view.
I mean, in terms of safety also, if adding to that point, I think it's a kind of a depends on the projects also. For example, if it's a, let's say, beach house, some of the the houses that he designers also just not a first home, it's also experimental homes, that's also holiday homes, and depends on different arenas, right? So some are right next to the kind of like a forest side, and it's where you can't really blast the light also, right? Because smart lighting really has to mean when it's a safety for us, we're also clean entire ecosystem also around us. So I think smart lighting being in the picture in terms of safety for us as well as for the environment around us, which is probably there is next to the a particular sanctuary or something that you're building a home, or it could be a holiday place. So it's very important in terms of safety in that way, and it's also very much to do with how you depict the scene. I mean, as a designer, you guys want a certain way to do it, but at the same time, there has to be also security that's connected to it. But at the same time, you can't kill the ecosystem around it also. So it could be next to the beach, for example. It could be next to a backwater for that matter. We can't really blast the light too much because the entire ecosystem around it could also be damaged around it. So, I mean, I would certainly, think in that way as well, apart from just a mood and sequence around.
And not only that, even if you talk about outdoor lighting and all that, where off-peak hours when your traffic is less and all that, then that time you're wasting energy, so you can dim down the light and you can pitch it to somewhere around 70% of the initial lumen output, and then further it can be dimmed down to 50% and going there. So this way energy saving will also be there, and apart from that it will have an effect on the creatures as well.
I would like to say, according to the security part of it, I think it should be so much interconnected with the main box of it that anything goes wrong, there is always an alarm system, or we get it on our phone because we are using the smart automation system. So it should be just spread on us, even to the old people. Anything of that kind, because it's a resort, it's a huge place, or any hotel or any commercial place, where we have to be so safeguarded with all the kids and the old people especially. So we should be taking care of that, and always should get onto an alarm system if anything goes wrong anywhere.
That alarm can be directly connected to maybe police stations or something, where through IoT definitely, so that safety is taking care of the kids or maybe elderly kids or anyone.
For instance, in Japan or these where the earthquake is very prone,
Exactly.
there are lighting systems which trigger based on the sensor of the earth and based on the motion which they receive. So it can be, for instance, it can be a red light in case of fire, where the lights turn red, particular lights, not all the lights. So it really doesn't, even if the alarm system fails, there is a lighting system.
Well, at least that is letting you know what is going on.
And if it's another emergency, if it's a health emergency or something, or they say orange lights are on. And nowadays lights have become a part of in public spaces where they guide you to the nearest fire escape.
That's right.
Because everyone doesn't know how to read a fire escape map, and they don't know where the location is.
Especially on the panic. That's right.
And first thing when anything happens in emergency is the light shut off, the electricity shut.
Correct.
Be it the lift or anything, any natural calamity, the first thing which goes off is the power. And lights don't work. So
And then how do our smart systems work? The thing what? No, that's true.
See,
That's right.
No, but some smart systems are only operated by the network.
Yes.
So that also becomes a problem when there is no current, especially in India.
these are run on particular battery which is only for a particular backup. They don't run next.
So that's the future. I mean, that's the whole environment that's happening towards. I mean, the problem is on the table right now, and you have to find a solution. The solution right now is kind of how do we make it still smart with the kind of deficiency that we have in terms of power, fluctuations, everything in place. So now there are a lot of systems that's coming in place where the light fixture driver itself has a battery backup enabled within that, which can power up for a certain number of minutes, depending on the wattage, maybe 30 minutes, 90 minutes, 60 minutes. They have their own.
Already being a battery company.
That's right.
So we have got products which are with emergency backups for all the luminaires. If we talk about 2x2, we talk about linears, talk about downlighters or high bays. So we are the company who is providing solutions for safety aspects during the power failure. So what happens when once the power goes off, this luminaire goes into the battery mode. So it gives you lighting for 30 minutes to 90 minutes. Depending on the switch, you can control the modes. Basically, it can be 30 minutes, it can be 90 minutes. So it gives you a pathway so that there is no blackouts and its safety is maintained.
There is also, just to answer this, not that India is completely standardized here. There are a lot of, we get a chance to work on some international projects and standards where, especially on lighting being fire safety and things like that, there was a certain norm to follow where we have to have a certain lux level that even in the complete fire accidents are happening. 0.2 lux at a certain point we have to maintain, like how we have in our codes that we have to have every 25 meters or 20 meters we need to have a certain exit. So I think our lighting standards, which is not followed in India of course, but then it's kind of getting slowly implemented into projects as well. We are getting recent projects where they're saying that we need to have a standalone system, battery enabled system. Even if there is a failure of our UPS, everything goes tossed. Instead we want the lights to be on in that format. So, thanks. I have another few more questions to ask as well. So, since you've been here for a while, I think the question can be more directed to you. What are the limitless potentials and possibilities, and how smart lighting can be used to emergency response and evacuation procedures in terms of, any of your products, how you're using it, how you're designed in a certain format for executions?
With battery backup luminaires, it can be connected through IoT, where suppose there is an emergency sort of situation. So this luminaires will directly guide you. It can change the efficacy level, and even at that time it can go into the battery mode, and it can show you the pathways, and thereby you can have safety escape during those hours basically.
So you said you also design and do build. So just when you design, I think this question can be answered by others as well, or can be added up further. This is more of a design question added up. What are the design considerations that we as designers can offer to a seamless transitions between natural, artificial lighting spaces with the use of smart lighting being in the picture today? Because that's one thing that a lot of us would agree upon. Certainly, natural light cannot be a replacement to an artificial light any given point in time. We're still trying to reach closer, but with the smart lighting being in picture, we're trying to come as close as possible or kind of mimic the possibilities of it. So, how much of thoughts are going into the design stage at this point? Now that we're very familiar with the automation being in the picture, so anyone take up this question, or you like to answer? Ma'am, would you like to answer?
I think it always comes with, the mood and, what time, how it is. So, psychologically you're carried out, whatever time it is, when you walk into the room, your energy level and everything contributes to the ambience around. So, I feel, automation works with the surrounding time and the temperature. So, it goes seamless. So, towards when it comes to the end of the day. So if the mode lighting is more soothing and it's more warmer when it is, paired with your timing and everything, I think the transition will be much more comfortable, and people will more appreciate on that perspective, is my opinion.
Any other point in terms of your design considerations or anything to do with that in your projects? Would you
see, natural and artificial light has to be combined in such a way where we get in the daytime we get enough of natural light in our house, And at that time, only some few nook and corners where there is no light to be reaching, we should have a good light system over there, so that when we go, it should illuminate and we should feel the place and have that whole ambience lit up. But in the night time, of course, we know that we have so many kind of lights that we these days go up to, like Excel, the task, and all kind of lights that we are having. It creates the mood, it creates the vibration to where we are, whether we are in a social gathering, whether we are having some functions, or how are we done up with that whole thing only matters with the light. The light is the key which changes the whole atmosphere at that time. Even if like today we are here, so when we have a proper lights and everything, we know that yes, this is giving us a opportunity to discuss with each other. We are there and we are comfortable sitting. Same way when we are in a restaurant or in a hotel, so we pretend to those lights. But the natural light is a natural light, I feel, and it should be imbibed in the house or any commercial places also in such a way that both take their own up and down to it and combine with each other and make it feel the wow factor to the whole place.
So in design point, if you see a well-lit space or properly organized with light, it gives a sense of security. So it gives a feeling that the space is safe. So for me, I feel lighting is very important from the start of the gate till the end. So even till the the back door or your garage doors, everywhere lighting plays a major role. So I think that's something we have to consider from the scratch.
And I think smart lighting has made it very easy also, to operate all those lights everywhere in every nook and corner. So we know where we need to on the light, where we need to dim the light, and how we need to operate the whole space. It is all there on our phone.
Yeah, irrespective of motion sensor also, I feel, your basic lighting, let's see, your pathway lightings, your corridor lightings, and, indication lightings we have, all of that has to be in place. Then maybe we can get on to, smart lighting. For me, if you see clients who are mostly, lazy to operate, opt for the smart lighting or, home automation. So irrespective of, automation, I feel lighting itself plays a major role in design.
I certainly
More of young kids needs these days
I'd like to give a very debatable topic, whether the clients are lazy or what. But
Yeah, it's not about that.
yeah, but I personally always educate anyone is everything has a good and a bad. So
Yeah.
it's up to us to see what side you really want to see. So to answer this question about how we integrate lighting, to be in the precise when we design spaces or we design homes, I've learned it from other lighting consultants that light really plays an important role on our health also. So first thing in our body which really gets affected is our sleep. So what our eye sees is what it tells the brain. So when you go in a midnight pub and the lights are huge, bright, your sleep is disturbed because your brain is thinking it's the daytime.
that's right.
So it really affects your health. So when I have to say smart lighting is when I think this is going to be the future where we are doing in many projects we started where we are mimicking the sunlight into the spaces. Because
That's right.
That's right.
no good lighting is as good as sunlight. So the natural color, feel, what comes in. So what we try to do is in the inner space also we try to mimic the sunlight which is inside. So of course if it is a desert space we don't do it, but we try to maintain a temperature which relieves stress on our eyes and relieves pressure on ourselves. So yes, health is very important with smart lighting also. So and second, about people being lazy for automation, I would say when with so much modernization and with lesser family numbers and nuclear families, it's very tough to operate so many things. When, for instance, with so many gadgets in place, we're having so many gadgets like maybe TV, air condition, your ovens, your fridge, your washing machines, your air conditions, and I can say many things, your heaters, water heaters in the house, motors. So it's an endless list. So it's not easy to go switch on, off, or look into that without busy light. So if you follow a system with automation, say that at particular time 6 a.m. my motor starts, 6:15 it gets off. So the power is saved between that. I really don't need to worry whether my water went up to the tap or. And there's a system on the top where it says the water has reached this level, so it shuts off.
It's a luxury today, to have this smart bed of universe I don't have one in it.
It is much of
So writing everything or personal and thinking about the timing and everything.
it's a convenience.
So it's more of a convenience.
I think it's going to be a necessity.
A necessity and a convenience.
It's a debate by itself. I think, as Bharat was saying, it's another subject altogether we'll have to debate on, because I think the projects have become more smarter. Rather, I would say you cannot now be there without a Wi-Fi being in your picture. Your TVs, whether you buy it with interest, without it's a smart TV. So it's already connected, and our contents that we're watching has become either one of these OTT platforms that you have to watch. So which means it's already we're connected partially with automations. It's so much. I mean,
I'll just add to this, but because it's not that we're only designing the two lights in a room or the 4 spotlights in a room. It's not only the primary lighting. You have many forms of secondary lighting. Then you have night lighting.
That's right.
And it's only a matter of convenience to just switch on a button and then change the whole ambience of the space. So I think that's where the whole smart lighting comes in. Then buttons are not required now. I'm sure that's the next level. So bullets and
I mean, that's so you interface to change. Once it was a switch, now it's become a button panel. It become a touch panel. Now it's a voice over control. Now it's a sensory. It kind of senses over. Interesting.
To the speed from 20 years and the kind of transition that I have seen from there to now, even at times I feel, oh my God, I mean, there's so much more to learn about the lights and about how to get them implemented in one place and how to be, joining the whole ends of everything and, making everything very friendly to the client. It is still, a lot of learning to it. I think every day it's a new learning with the lights. Because every day I see new lights come up on the, high back will come up with something, somebody will come up with something, and they will come and they'll show we have come up with some new thing. And home automations also. There's some Germans, somebody will come from Indian, then they'll come with something like that and they'll say it's become so easy. Now you just put one thing inside the switches and we are done with it. So everything is getting so
That's when you have that should be a granted way. How much lighting is how far lighting is expressed.
We think they are only defining two. I think we should see a bigger picture.
Now I work on
Exactly. Hospitals, you have to see hospitality, you have to see go downs, you have to see warehouses. We shouldn't just large areas. Only to this. That it's only for lazy. No, when it comes to offices, it's really
much larger.
And the running cost with the rental and with the EB charges, it's not easy to run any business.
Also, for more empowerment is the theaters, all those warehouses where the light should be very proper and it should be into a smart systems, because we don't know where the danger is hidden. Exactly. So that's also another one.
One interesting thing is getting the data from the network. So say for example, talking about 1 million square footage of space. So based on usage, we can derive data on where the lights can be used. That will not help the immediate user, but that will shape what the light's going to be in 10 years from now.
Exactly. That's something I would say is a future of it. Quite honestly, I was always excited about the technology, and I think it was always something that, especially from our batches, we were always like techies and we were trying to understand stuff. But then right now I've moved a lot into IoT-based lighting. So that's the new gen of smart lighting is moving into. I think your lights are going to be something that's going, because your light has to be powered. The light is going to give you all the data that you require. How many hours it's been used, what is the kind of parametrics which has been occupied. So it's going to give you more than just light. It's going to give you a lot more of data, a lot more of information than what it was just doing is just turning on as just glowing and going back. I think that's something that I'm seeing. As you rightly said, it's just not about residential. I think, ma'am, you also have done a lot of commercials, retail, and to add it up, you've done also some lighting stores and showrooms where I've seen that, there's a lot of interest towards lighting on it. But then as the technology getting blended into lighting, I think that's the way we'll have to now look into that. You have to embrace it. I think that's the only way forward, because now we cannot really take lighting out of smart anymore. It's like how we cannot take a television anymore out as a no smart televisions are available. Everything is smart television. So future is going to be smart, like
Smarter,
And
more
based-
and more.
complicated.
Yeah, and based on this, the new concept which has started is LAS, lighting as services. So what is happening now that your data is getting stored into some of this server, and it is given to you in the subscription model. It did not require to pay it on one time. So as and when you use it, and you can pay to the service provider. So that is gaining footprints in India. Earlier it was there in abroad only. So now it is gaining very good speed in India, where you are providing all the services, all the data, so that the customer can have a feel of it. So LAS is becoming much more prominent in India now.
Right, especially I have a chance to work also in Middle East a little bit, and also get a chance to work in Asia. I think we as Indians, I think we always try to embrace technology more faster and adapt things faster. I don't see the adaptability of LED has really reached out even in the market of Middle East, not like market in Asia Pacific. I've tried a chance to work. I don't think they want to really going gaga over like how much we are going gaga over it. I think we genuinely, I think as Indians, we like the whole entity of embracing new technologies and system. I think as architecture industry also, we've been really interested to try new materials. I think there's always a curiosity to find what's new in materials. So I would call lighting as, for me, I consider lighting as one of the elements in architecture. So I've started practicing architecture in forms of light. So I would call it as the fourth dimensions of architecture is light for me. So I still think a lot of us being in the industry, I see a lot of materials have been approached, and a lot of new designers who's working on the architecture interior. I've always found that there is new material that's been tried and tested in our market than more than the other markets outside, more than European market or more than other markets that we see. I think we embrace the materials much faster, and at the same way, technology also, I think we've been like really faster in terms of adapting the technologies. Moving forward, I think smart lighting is something that I would call it. I think all of us have to embrace it gracefully and then start being part of it. I think, and more than that, I think large amount of commercial projects have already been very much in use, because daylight harvesting is a very big topic that's been spoken in terms of being in LEED certifications or getting your other WEN certificates today, where human-centric lighting is a big topic that has been very much into the industry as I practice, because circadian rhythm, one of you were talking about the sleep cycle issues and things like that's been coming in the picture. So how office lighting is getting generated. Retail, for example, now is always something that retail means it has to be more lights, right? It has to be flash of lights, more number of lights. So now we're talking about human psychology in the retail space, the salespeople's mental wellness, or they're talking about their physical wellness with lights. So I think that's a topic that I think we are moving forward, and I think smart lighting could be an answer to it. Maybe may consider that could be an option right now. We still have to see, because it's changing forever. I mean, that's something from my opinion. I would say it's been a great topic today, and I would certainly thank all of you guys here in this system. I think we have to come up to a conclusion on this, and thank you so much. Thanks everybody for getting us all together on this forum. Anything to add on this?
Yeah, thanks guys. Basically, I was just trying to grasp whatever things are required by the architects and what all solutions can be provided from Eveready. Already we are there in this field, but I was trying to hear from all of you that what all solutions we require and how we can come up to your services basically. So thanks very much to everyone, and definitely we really providing the solution whatever is required for your residential or maybe commercial or industrial spaces. Thank you.